Welcome back to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. Kindly subscribe to our channel if you're watching for the first time. Click the notification bell. You can also like and share our videos, and to those who support us in one way or the other, allow me to thank you in a very special way. You're the reason this channel is where it is. Ladies and gentlemen, when Raila came out and released that dossier of the oil deal between the government of Kenya and some oil dealers in the Gulf states, he really implicated William Ruto and the entire Kenya Kwanza brigade. And it was expected that they were not going to sit back and watch. In their usual manner, they were going to craft a counter narrative. And sources indicate that William Ruto immediately convened an urgent meeting because this came as a surprise to them. That I think they didn't expect that Raila had this dossier from A to Z, every details, every nitty-gritties. So they tried to look for how to come up to counter what Raila is talking about, and they can't find any. So they decided on two things. One, propaganda. Two, shifting the blame game. And I was looking at two people because I expected them to come out and try to defend the Kenya Kwanza team in their usual manner. One is the chairman of the Economic Advisors, David D. And the second one is Denis Itumbi. Now it didn't take long, and Denis Itumbi was at it as expected. As I release this video, Itumbi is actually trending at number 1, followed by Resign. And I think Resign is because many Kenyans are now saying that William Ruto should have resigned as early as yesterday. And the reason why Itumbi is trending at number 1 is this. Itumbi went to his Twitter handle, and I think they still believe they are dealing with the gullible Kenyans as usual. And this is what he wrote. That former Prime Minister Raila Odinga's family has an interest in the oil business. During the handshake period, they kicked out a key ally from one of the oil companies, and now they are fully in control. The G2G deal gave Kenya a great deal, but denied the Odinga massive profit they used to bag in the open tender system. Before the press conference, an attempt was made to blackmail government. The ministry was confident and sure the deal was above board, stood its ground. Did the company put in a bid and lost? Is there some money the company wants from the government of Kenya? A full HNIB to follow. Now that is Denis Itumbi, and he followed those allegations with what he might also call a dossier, and I think it's referring to in the list that he has the company directors and all those, and there is a name there of Raila Odinga Jr. That is what he's banking on. And Itumbi is making some serious allegations that Raila Odinga's company, or Raila, tried to twist the government maybe to get a deal, and the ministry refused. And I know this is mere allegation, but I don't want to judge him because we are waiting. He has said that something is following. Let's wait for it. But why now? That is the first question. Is there evidence that Raila tried to twist the ministry to get, part of the profit as is alleging? Because one thing I don't have a problem with is any Kenyan doing business. Any Kenyan who is qualified getting into any business that he feels interested in. Most of our politicians are businessmen. If you look at Raila, Mudavadi, Ruto, most of them have engaged in one business or the other, and it doesn't matter as long as the business is clean. So when Itumbi comes and tells us that Raila's family is involved in the oil business, well, I don't have a problem with that. Even if it is Itumbi himself who is involved in the oil business, there is no problem. But you see, Raila stated facts, and one of the facts, as I said earlier, is that our shilling is deteriorating against the dollar. There is still scarcity of the dollar itself. The prices of fuel are skyrocketing, yet the neighboring countries are lowering their prices. And even to make it worse is the fact that the Ugandan government has terminated their contract with us and they have gone to Tanzania. Those are facts. I'm trying to leave out the other things that Raila said, giving the benefit of doubt. But these are facts that we can check. And Itumbi knows very well that Raila challenged the government, in fact including the KRA and the EACC, to come clean. KRA should tell us whether the 300 picked oil farms were exempted from taxes. And he challenged the government to tell us why they refused or they did away with the open tender, which was very competitive and would allow all the companies to apply. And Itumbi is not answering any of this. His allegations are not trying to answer the nitty-gritties, why the prices are still, skyrocketing. Number two, it is their their usual manner of shifting blame game. In fact, Uhuru is very lucky here because there is no way they can fix his name. Otherwise, they would have, thrown the name of Uhuru here. They would have fixed it. It is happening under their nose. That is why they cannot fix in Uhuru's name. But before you know it, you will see them, making some corners and saying, oh, it is because of Uhuru and all that. So it's not answering any question. It is full of blame game. It is also an indication of a government that is running away from its responsibilities. But why exactly is Itumbi making such allegations? Because I know what they want to achieve. They want to drag in the name of Raila in this mess, because Raila has always been used to sanitize things when they are wrong. So you will hear some of the Kenya Kwanza team picking this narrative that Raila wanted this deal, he was denied, that is now why he's making noise. They know how to drag in his name. And all the Kenya Kwanza bloggers, I believe, they have been trained because Itumbi is in charge. So you'll see them taking this and flying with it. They will run away from the cost of living, the high prices of fuel, why the tendering was handpicked, such kind of things. And they will be blaming Raila as if that blame game is gonna help the situation. So they want Raila to be part and parcel of the mess. But Kenyans are very clever. In fact, one of the people who responded to Itumbi gave him a screenshot of one of the dailies that said that the Kenya Kwanza team is governing by excuses. The Kenya Kwanza model, that is their model. So Kenyans are busy watching what is happening and they cannot be hoodwinked any further. Number two, Itumbi wants to portray Raila as a bitter man who has lost a deal. He wants to paint a picture as if Raila is also a deal maker. So that, what happens in human psychology, you simply try to trigger doubt in someone's mind. Like in this sense, there are people who will start asking, well, maybe Raila also wanted a cake in that deal. But Raila stated very clearly that even the G2G, people are now calling it gangster to gangster deal. And Raila is saying that G2G was never G2G. It was some scrupulous businessmen from the government of Kenya engaging individual oil farms at the Gulf. And so they will not succeed in trying to portray Raila as a bitter man who lost the deal. Raila never wanted, because we know. And if they have any evidence, let them give us. that evidence. Number 3, these are diversionary tactics. They know that Kenya is at the height of talking about the high cost of living, and they have been caught with their hands in the cookie jar. So they're looking for something. They're trying to force people to start discussing Raila, to forget about the main agenda. The main agenda is the high cost of living. The main agenda is that Raila said is not going to sign the outcome of the bipartisan talks if the cost of living is not going to be addressed. The main agenda is Raila gave them a pragmatic way of reducing the cost of living. So they are trying to hoodwink Kenyans as usual, because according to the Kenya Kwanza team, they believe that they can have their way all the times. Remember, William Ruto told the Kenya Kwanza members of parliament that you don't need to be popular all the time. You wait for the right time to be popular. According to William Ruto, this is not the right time to be popular. You can increase taxes, then wait for the campaign period towards 2027, reduce the prices of everything and tell them, so naona mimi ni ule hasla wenu. And that is exactly what they think. So ladies and gentlemen, this has backfired, because Kenyans are not going to allow the Kenya Kwanza team to have their cake and eat it, or eat their cake and have it, whichever way. Kenyans are smarter. And to Denis Itumbi, people are now used to his lies and fallacy. I don't know what you think, but I think the government must come clean. The government should stop the blame game. The government must answer point to point the real questions and issues and concerns of not only Raila, but the concerns of Kenyans. And that is my take.